So we're gonna start. Actually, thank you. I got you here. I'm not gonna use you just yet. We're just gonna start for just a second. We're just gonna work usa kalakang with just 1 to 2 strikes. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin my left foot. I'm gonna come 1, come 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Do this for a little bit, then take a step back so that you can work the other side. Do this for a little bit, then take a step forward so that you can get back to the other side. So we'll just warm up this forward and back footwork.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Let's start there. So detail, just kind of watching around, something that I want to see and make sure that we're handling is stepping forward, right? Comfortable low hips, good posture, ears above shoulders, above hips, right? Even if I am tipped forward, this line is straight. So I never want to be like this. I never want to be like this, right? So here. But what I'm looking for is the back. As you step back, I'm not to the back leg. I'm just stepping back, okay? So if I come here, still forward. Forward to this leg, staying forward to this leg. Never shifting my weight back to my heels. So much harder to recover that momentum, and I want the ability to move forward and back, and you'll see why here soon. But forward and back, staying body weight above this base. Yeah, we try that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so one quick note, and then we'll change. So first is that started looking really good, and that weight much better. I like to think of it is that don't think of backing up as retreating. Think of it as inviting, okay? Which is why I don't back up this way. If I have my posture back, then where's my next step? It's still back, right? I'm still going back. My best next step in that situation is bahin to switch myself back. If I end up kind of leaning too far back, I can switch out. But I don't want to do that. That's me retreating from something. This is me stepping backwards, which is me staying in the fight. I'm just inviting you to come into this space, right? And so that's where we're going to start. But the thing is, you continue to do it. As you get more comfortable, start to feel how the whole body moves. So as I step, this whole thing happens. I step, this whole thing happens. Right now, the stick is very lightly under my muscular control. And I'm letting the momentum of the movement be the thing that moves it, okay? So you'll notice I'm never ending up here, 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 right? Instead, it's my body moves the stick. There should always be a constant connection of your whole body to what's happening. Now, Aline, let's add. So, to start very simply, we'll start sagang sagawas. And so when she strikes, I'm going to defend this, and I'm going to come in. Okay? So for the first one, I'm just going to come get you.
All right.
All right, so boom. Okay, so I go back, I invite you in, I hit. I invite you in, and I hit. And that's why I'm staying forward, as I'm not reeling from this. I'm just managing it. This is not my problem, this is your problem now. Okay? Here, here. So the way we train this together, so I want you to see that because that's what's happening. When you start seeing it in the drill, you lose sight of that. That is the skill. The skill is I invite you in and I counter. Right? Okay? You notice I don't tend to walk towards her, I tend to walk around her because I'm going here. But when we start working the drill, which is what we're going to do, I want you to remember that. But now we're going back and forth. So she does hers, I do mine. So it looks different because we're both moving. But recognize the skill within the drill as it happens. Yeah. Good there. Okay, that's the drill. Back and forth, usa, kalakang. 1 for 1, right? It looks like 1s and 2s. It's 1 for 1. I'm striking a 1, you're defending a 1. Right. Good. Now manage your space. I see what you're doing. I like it. But now change your angle. So on the way back, instead of peeling with the backhand, turn the hand and find that tip of the stick.
Because it doesn't feel.
Okay, and pausing.
Hey.
Okay, so working with me here.
Hey.
Okay, so right now, go ahead. You're wanting to come here and here, right? Continue, work the drill. I'm gonna come here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna use this. So I'm gonna make sure this manages that and this does that.
I'm doing my cigar.
It's not wrong, it's just a different range. That is the medio method, is what you're doing. Okay. Salamat. And that'll put the memory in. All right, so solidarity with the band, we'll do some black iron pipe. Okay, so we're just gonna, for a moment, we're gonna switch the drill. Same drill, different expression. So we were going sagong, we're gonna move a la contra. So we were in here, right? Come in, see, as you feel the invite, do you feel like you're like, I'm just out of range? There it is. Here, here. Whoa. Good, good. So we're going to change it to a la contra. So as he comes in, what that changes is which foot we're using. So now we're going to be doing our movement. We were doing our movement off of the off. Now I'm going to do my movement off of the on, right? So now I come here. Boom. Good.
Well, now we're doing actual 1s and 2s.
Yes. Good. You feel a little bit out of range? You feel a little bit out of range to me.
Okay. Too close or too far?
Too far. I feel like he's having to extend this a lot more than he should need to, which he should especially feel with this much weight in his hand. So to be able to support this well, right, like heavy things can be handled pretty easily. This way, they suck to hold this way. If I said hold this like this, you're like, all right, fine. If I say hold this like this, I'll be back in an hour, you're like, this is gonna suck, right? And so same thing in that strength. So as he comes to hit, I want to stay in this place. Stay in this place. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so a la contra.
Hey!
Very good. Okay, I'll lean. All right. So what I want to talk about is the way in which you start to manifest skill within the drill regardless of the tempo, okay? So a lot of times our way of managing if somebody's striking, and now we're working and aiming for the hand, right? So we want to be careful and not hit their hand. So we start going like this to make sure that we slow down and don't hit the hand. Okay? The way that I manifest skill is, yes. I get there quick and then take it off, right? I don't want to practice being late. Does that make sense? I don't want to get used to being behind time. So I want to be on time and then put the brakes on. On time and brakes. On time and brakes. Okay. Be sooner. Right? Almost. This is good. We're troubleshooting. This is diagnostics, right? Here. Especially a la contra. Now try to manage your angle too. It's starting, as you think super hard about that, which is natural. As you think hard about that, angle starts to change. The one nice thing about a la contra is late is one of the only ones that really doesn't work, right? Because if I'm late, then it goes by and nothing happens. If I'm early, then the continuation of her does the work for me also, right? So it's important that I get there early enough. Yep, a little sooner. Good. Boom. Boom. Use your body, okay? Higher level detail is the body. So some of it is how fast can you move your arm. The truth is not very. Not as fast as you can if you use the whole chain. So if I'm here, I'm coming through. Okay, I've got to use this to make that faster. So I can't just be here, I have to use this. My stepping allows me to do that because as I step, the foot throws the hip throws the shoulder, shoulder throws the elbow, elbow throws the hand, right? So, here. As the skill progresses, it becomes something that you can do regardless of what's happening, if that kind of makes sense. And what that is I want you on the next 5 to 10 that you throw, don't come the same speed every time. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, okay? I should be able to find and match that regardless of whether I know what's happening, okay? Because I don't get to know what happens ahead of time. Instead, I just have to respond. So if you speed up, then I speed up. If you slow down, I adjust my timing. I don't slow down. And I think that's what I want you to hear is I don't slow down. If you speed up, I speed up. I've got to get there. If you slow down, I adjust my timing. I move the same speed, I just do it later. Okay, so we'll go fast, here. Okay, we'll go slow. Notice I didn't move any slower. I just didn't move yet because it wasn't time. When you hit is what's important, right? Good. So we'll work just a little bit more. I just wanted you guys to work on that. Make sure that you're not being slow and building the habit of being late. All right, that's it. Okay. So as we continue, here's good. As we continue the drill, that we're going to break that flow because now I want to experience him striking twice. Okay, so we'll throw it ones and twos. Why do we call them ones and twos? Because they are the most common ways in which you hit. I come hit from the side my weapon's on, and then I hit on the way back to get back to where I started. Right? That is the natural expression of this. And so he throws a 1, I come here, he throws a 2, right? So he's just going to come 1, 2, 2 steps. Boom, and boom. Yeah, and go ahead and do duha kalakong, so step twice. 1, 2, yes. Okay. This is important. So, I mean, this is natural for him to feed into, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to get you, right? He doesn't have a lot of reasons to step back if he's trying to hurt me, right? So my response, the drill that we're working, is I'm going to hit this and move in. Okay, so I'm going to work first larga, media. Okay. Now, when you work it solo or when you work it slow, your feet being exact is a thing you can do. But when you work a drill like this, you need to compensate for where is this. Okay, so you notice sometimes I almost end up perpendicular. I'm not because I'm changing my angle. But I can't always just step through. If we're both stepping forward, that space doesn't exist. But it's still the same footwork. So don't get confused in the idea that because I stepped back and didn't step all the way back that it's not usakalakong. Footwork is an idea, right? The idea is that either a back and forth or forward, a forth and back, right? And so with that, I need to make sure that that is what's happening here. Okay? Since we're working to media, I'm going to start using this hand because this is great. This is not enough. Okay? It just bounces off and appreciate the control there. Okay? So now as I come in, that's why I need this hand to come in. Okay, so go ahead and spin to this side, Gage, so that we can come this way. And we'll kind of face so you guys can see this. Okay, so I'm in. I have the hand, or if it's a stick, I have the stick, right? So here's my places. So I'm stepping back, inviting, changing. Part of that is a tactic. So some of it is just, what am I doing? But then the other is a tactic. I'm telling him, yes, you are winning. I'm changing his situation. He thought he had something good. Now the situation changes. That causes the blip, the break in the OODA loop that goes, wait, this changed. Now what do I do? So that's the drill. The drill is I come 1, I come 2. And that's why being able to move backwards quickly, but being able to quickly respond to forwards is important. Because if I'm late on this, I'm never going to get that, right? I might be able to defend something with it, but I need to stop him from what he's doing. And now I've taken this off. Now I've got different things. In a minute, we'll work follow-ups, things that we can continue with. But right now, we're just going to work getting used to being long range, jumping into medium range. Yeah?
Sir.
Let's try that. So for the last little bit, we're into dessert. And dessert today will be just adding another principle. Okay? So we're going to add a principle to this drill. So I've got 1, 2, right? And here is my situation. This, if you look, as I clear this out, and I sometimes am just moving it here, and I'm not necessarily even clearing it, I'm just creating a problem for him. If I do clear it out, you would call this inside. I'm inside of his weapons, right? So now we're going to change the drill, and we're going to do, instead of 1, 2, we're going to do 2, 1. Okay, so I'm going to come 1, 2. So this changes to here now. Okay, they do switch. Now I pass this down and hit this here. Okay, this obviously, quick note, this is not a thing you do if it's a blade. If that's a machete, you don't just stuff your hand there. Okay, does that make sense? There are things that we can do that change that, right? Which is here. We'll do that. We'll do that. They both work. We'll do the second one. Okay, so he comes here. I come 1. I come 2. So I'm going to pass across. Hand reaches. Okay. Now I'm going to pass differently. So before we ended up in the inside, now I'm going to pass this through, still taking it down, hit the bicep, but now I'm outside of his tools.
When you let go of that hand, you don't keep contact?
Not necessarily, yeah. So especially at this point, if I'm changing, 2, 1, yeah.
I'll do the right thing.
Right? Especially if I'm changing to just hitting him. And the reason why I let go of that is because if you notice where I went next.
Okay.
1, 2, right? I come in, hitting this. 1, I need to be able to get further behind him. So if I stay attached to that, I'm limited in where I can go. But the other thing is, as soon as I start hitting this, I'm going to start controlling, instead of worrying about that, I'm going to start worrying about his structure. I'm going to make him have to recover his feet, and while he's doing that, hit him again. So I move into overwhelm mode rather than just monitor mode. Okay, so we go 2, here. Okay, hitting. We call this a switch. It's one of the 3 major switches is being inside and hitting through to get to the outside. So again, once more, we'll give it 3, the 3. 1, 2, okay, around and hit. Again, 1, 2, around and hit. You have to kind of move this pretty quick. You notice it's a full circle. I'm over here, and I have to come all the way around for that.
So you're changing this hand from top to bottom as you do this now?
So I'm here. I'm coming past it,
Yep.
and then, yep, I'm switching them.
Okay.
So 1, in, hit, hit. Okay, let's play with that. So just working off a number 2 angle and then adding in a switch, the principle of getting to the outside, switching from the inside to the outside.
Sir.
Cool.